In this corner, the alternate timeline young Barry in his makeshift Batman-themed Flash suit from the Flash movie, and in this corner, the older, more diabolical Dark Flash, also from the Flash film. To celebrate my 300th video, I'm pitting two alternate timeline versions of the same character against each other to ask the question, what could have been? Place your bets, it's time for another Versus. For a roll-to-scale comparison, here's Batsuit Barry and Dark Flash with Pizza Spidey and the Spectacular Spider-Man, and as always, here they are with Stealth Iron Man. So you can, go back in time and change stuff, right? Totally! So then you can make it so that my legs never broke off. Easy peasy. But would you? Broski, I got you. Hold on, little buddy. Just like Eric Stoltz, we're about to go back to the future. Eric Stoltz? Zoom, zoom, zoom! Well, here we are. My legs, it's incredible. But what is this place? It's the Corona Bowl, a place outside of time where we can see all the effects of what we changed. Now this should be interesting. Welcome to 5 Points of Articulation, where I review action figures and then articulate 5 points to help you decide if you want to add that figure to your collection. The 5 points I discuss are packaging, presentation, posability, playability, and price. I'm Jason, and if you enjoy my content, please like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube rigmarole. Well, wait, where's the fancy intro, and why is the sound so bad? He didn't make the intro or start using a mic until after your original video. It really made him step up his game. Oh, well, I guess that's not the end of the world. Starting with the packaging, and both figures come in DC Multiverse window boxes. The only difference is that one says Dark Flash, and the other just says The Flash. But really, when you're talking about Ezra Miller, how do you tell the difference? Still with the Ezra Miller jokes? Well, it's good to see some things never change. On the side, they refer to the alternate timeline Flash as Batman costume. Spin Master, on the other hand, refers to him as Young Barry. You can learn all about that in my video on the Batwing and Batmobile. Whoa, that's one of the worst thumbnails I've ever seen. Really? Worse than this one? Point taken, I just remember being a lot better in my timeline. I have a feeling you'll be saying that a lot. But hey, Batman is more marketable, which is probably why he's in a Batman costume. Joking aside, it is nice to see the return suit again. For packaging, I'm giving Flash and Dark Flash 1 whole point. A point? I thought this was supposed to be a Versus. You're really not grasping how this works, are you? Moving on to presentation, and both figures stand at just about 7 inches. They're also both 100% new sculpts. Young Barry made his costume out of Michael Keaton from Batman Returns. Aside from the bat symbol, the dead giveaways are the scallop collar, the ab armor, and rib boots. That's not to say he didn't make it his own. For on the top, and he cut off the nose and ears from the cowl, he also added his headphones to kind of look like the Flash's lightning bolts. Okay, I get the microphone in the background, but he's never heard of color correction? He knows what it is, but he's never personally experienced it. Of course, he spray painted the whole thing red and yellow to match the Flash's colors, and added some caution tape to compensate for the lack of belt. I'm not gonna lie, I think the face looks a little bit weird. Yeah, well, your face is weird. But overall, McFarlane has done a very good job of translating this into action figure form. They did a really good job of recreating the blotchiness of the paint job on the suit, and I mostly really like the job they did on the diaphragm. If I could, I want to redirect you for a moment back to the video I made on Keaton and Batfleck. Yikes! Do we really need to have the thumbnail talk again? In that video, I said I wish this half-moon section was removed so the abs could have just been underneath. This is mostly what I was talking about. The only problem is that requires standing him at a bit of a hunch. Standing him straight, however, and we can realize the problem. As we can see, they don't exactly line up. Mushing him down, though, and having a bit of a hunch, and it does work fine enough for me. Also, arching him back, we can see they did continue to sculpt him underneath, lining up the top row, and that doesn't look half bad. Moving over to Dark Flash, and I'm really impressed with all the detail. He's got all this Kryptonian shrapnel sticking out of his body. Luckily, it's nice and soft. I will say the back of the figure is a harder plastic, so it can be a little bit uncomfortable to move him around. Why does he flap his hands around so much? He thinks the extra movement makes the video more engaging. I get the toys are plastic, but he's not dangling keys in front of a baby. Yeah, could we maybe not talk about babies or microwaves? Really great craggy detail moving down the spine. The top piece is a soft rubber overlay, but the arms are solid plastic, so these are a bit harder. Zooming on in, we can see a lot of painted detail in there. It would have been really cheap and easy to make this this whole figure just black or dark gray and not have any paint at all, so I really appreciate that. Speaking of painted detail, there is some energy effects around the forehead and also the chest. I normally prefer static expressions on figures, but this looks really good. Traveling down the leg, we see more of that detail. That definitely looks painful. And then moving all the way down, here is Dark Flash feet. Between the two, I definitely like Dark Flash better, but it's not a competition, so for presentation, I'm giving these two 1 whole point. Before we continue, I just wanted to let you know that the channel finally hit 1,000 subs. It only took 2.5 years, but thanks to your support, I can finally apply for monetization.
1,000? In my timeline, he just hit 12,500. One small change can make a huge difference. Yeah, I guess it can.
Moving on to posability, and they have the same basic articulation scheme except for the head. Dark Flash has the usual dumbbell joint, but young Barry has a ball joint at the base of the neck. In that regard, he's similar to figures like Hush and Three Jokers Batman. It makes sense because this is technically the Batman Returns suit, which famously couldn't really turn his head. In fact, they even make a joke about it in the movie. Funny enough, neither figure can really look up, but they can both look down just fine. Pretty decent tilt, and all the way around.
Did he always talk so high and so fast? It's like Kermit the Frog recording a hostage video.
Luckily, Dark Flash's spikes are a soft rubber overlay, so he can raise his arm up just about 90 degrees. Of course, young Barry has this scallop cut out, so he can raise his arm up 90. Both figures have bicep swivel, with Dark Flash's much better hidden, and they both have pretty equivalent double-jointed elbows. Traveling down the arm, they have McFarlane wrists that do all the McFarlane wrist things.
How thorough.
And then shifting to the torso, they have a diaphragm joint and a dumbbell waist. Young Barry's lower torso goes over the diaper, whereas Dark Flash's are hiked up like Steve Urkel. Because of that, young Barry has the better hunch forward, but they can arch back pretty much the same. They can also tilt, Dark Flash way more so, and twist.
Dude, as aggressive as he used to be during posability, it's any wonder we didn't all break.
No real twist, unfortunately. Also, the right leg on young Barry keeps popping off.
Oh gee, I wonder why.
Be that as it may, he can kick pretty high, and do a perfect split. Dark Flash, unfortunately, cannot kick as high, nor can he split as wide. Moving on down, they both have double-jointed knees, but because of all the spiky bits coming off of Dark Flash, he can't bend as deep. No trouble with the toe joints, though, or the McFarlane ankles that do all the McFarlane ankle things. Obviously, it's not a competition, but if it was, I have to say the young Barry has the much better range. Even so, for posability, I'm giving both these figures 1 whole point.
So wait, where were all the dioramas and the fancy glam shots? You really don't remember, do you? Back in your video when he made that Camp Crystal Lake display, that was the first one on the channel. It's what inspired him to do more. Without you breaking and forcing him to think outside the box, well, it just never happened. I did all that? You did more than you realize.
Moving on to playability, and both figures come with trading cards. I'm not going to really worry about spoilers at this point since no one seems to want to see the movie anyway, so here's young Barry.
That's hurtful.
Interesting the Dimensions 2022. Kind of makes me wonder how long McFarlane was sitting on these figures. Anyway, here we have Dark Flash, and of course both figures come with figure stands. Young Barry comes with a bunch of lightning effects. I don't really feel like going through all my Flash figures to confirm this, but I'm pretty sure they're just all reuse. I love that McFarlane includes these, but I am a little bit disappointed, mainly because they're the wrong color. In the movie, regular Flash's lightning is yellow because of his suit, so young Barry's is blue. It's actually a great way of telling them apart. My recommendation is that if you have the Snyder Cut figure, use those effects. That looks much better. Also, since he shoots lightning at people like the Emperor, you can use other blue lightning effects you have from other DC Multiverse figures. Unlimited power! Dark Flash unfortunately doesn't come with any extras. I assume the extra budget went to these soft rubber overlays. Still, some purple lightning effects would have been pretty cool. But playability is more than just accessories, it's also about how well your figure plays with others, so here they are with the comic version of Dark Flash. Pretty much a completely different character from what we see in the movie. As for the movie, and here we have Michael Keaton Batman, let's just make life easy and say Ben Affleck's Batman, Supergirl, the love of young Barry's short life.
Wait, what was that about short life?
And of course, main Barry in his shiny candy apple red costume. That said, for a couple of other live-action Flashes, and here we have the version from the Snyder Cut, and also Grant Gustin from the CW. It is absolutely criminal that he wasn't given a cameo in the movie. For a couple of comic book Flashes though, and here we have DC Essentials and the DC Multiverse Rebirth version. For a couple of Flash villains, and here we have Reverse Flash. Dark Flash serves kind of the same function as him in the story. Here we have Godspeed, who'd look good on either your comic book or live-action shelf. And then for one last comparison, here they are with the Injustice 2 Gorilla Grodd.
Well, hold up. Where am I? You're in a plastic shoebox in his closet with his other Iron Man figures. A shoebox? You never broke, so you were never special. Oh. You know what? I think I've seen enough, Clarence. Take me back to how it was. Clarence? Yeah, from It's a Wonderful Life? Oh, right, that old Cary Grant movie. Cary Grant? Whatever, just do the thing. All right, you ready? Ready as I'll ever be. Zoom, zoom, zoom! For a roll-to-scale comparison, here's Batsuit Barry and Dark Flash with Pizza Spidey and the Spectacular Spider-Man. And as always, here they are with Stealth Iron Man. Phew. Even if the color of the lightning's wrong, some accessories are better than no accessories. I have heard that some collectors are using Dark Flash as a substitute for Savitar, which is pretty cool. And don't forget that with the right head and a bit of elbow grease, you could make your very own Batman Returns custom. For playability, this round goes to Barry. This leaves us with nothing left to discuss but the price. And here's a quick reminder of the battle so far. Packaging was a draw. Although both figures are very good recreations of what they look like in the movie, presentation went to Dark Flash, with posability and playability going to Barry. Each one retails for $20, and compared to other figures in the wave, have been a bit easier to track down. And even though Barry does come with a few, albeit reused accessories, I don't really see that big of a difference in value between the two. Why, it's almost as if they're the same person. For price, this round is another draw, but the battle goes to young Batsuit Barry, 4-3. Alright, let's get these put away and start setting up for the next one. Things might be back to normal, but one tradition worth revisiting is the personalized outro. 300 videos and 12.5 thousand subs. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. To me, you are not just numbers on a screen, but a community. The best community I've ever been part of. I'll be back again real soon, but until then, play nice and have fun.